Greetings, everyone. If you are a business owner or want to start a new business, if you are struggling to get clients and want to get sales and you want to know how to do it, do you know how to connect with your clients and engage with them meaningfully? Let me share with you, you are not alone. In case you don't know me, I am Saheb Youssef from Islamabad, Pakistan. I'm founder of Integrated Success Formula, founder of Integrated Success Marketing, and host of Instant Publicity Interviews. Today, we have a very amazing guest with us. He's expert in business development, sales and marketing strategist, global goodwill ambassador, mentor, and co-host of Create the Edge. Give me a warm welcome
Thank
to
you.
today's guest, Joseph Saheb Youssef.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. We had a few technical issues prior because Zoom, I think, is just overloaded with people trying to use this platform from all around the world at this moment. But thank you. It's nice to sort of speak with you face to face. We have interacted a couple of times on LinkedIn so far, so it's nice to speak face to face.
Thank you. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to start your journey as a business development leader and mentor?
Good question, actually, because interestingly, I mean, I have been a science student in school. So a little bit of background about myself. So I'm originally from India, from Calcutta. So I left the country when I was 17, and I moved to Australia for my bachelor's, my master's, and also to start working as well. So my career started in Australia, and now I'm presently based in Singapore for the last 7 years. So the way it happened was like I was a science student to start with. However, when I moved to Australia, I actually took up accounting and finance. So I've always so the reason and what I do, like in sales and business development and marketing and relationship building, is not at all to a certain extent related directly with my financial degree. However, I've always worked in the finance industry. So the way I see it, I always have had this personal idea and ideology of being able to connect meaningfully with people around me, to being able to bring forth the personal interactions and relationships and nurture, build, and maintain them for life. So that's the reason why I went into relationship management. I've always been in a client-facing role, leading teams as well as acting in an individual contributor manner as well. So it was very interesting. So I've always worked in the finance industry when I was in Australia. So basically what I used to do was break down all the financial and technical and legal jargon for all my clients into easily understandable language, and then basically focus on what was the actual requirements, the real needs and requirements that my clients had, and then addressing those concerns and providing them a solution, which is not a one-size-fits-all, but it was completely and directly related to their problem. So I think that's the main thing. I mean, that's what inspired me, or rather has kept me in this field of sales and business development, because of my love for people and to build relationships and to excel in my offering to them and excel, in all that they expect from me.
Great to know your transformational story. What are your immediate plans to grow your business?
Well, I presently I am working for a company here in Singapore. I am a senior fine art consultant, but I do look into only the investment side of things. I do have my own consulting venture as well, which I do. I do work with some really big companies worldwide, as well as mainly smaller entrepreneurial SMEs from around the world as well. So I go into the sales and business development side of things, and I do have my my co-host and founder of the company, Joy Abdullah from Malaysia, who looks after the marketing and branding side of things as well. So together we bring that into strategy moving forward for businesses of all sizes to basically grow and look at the potential moving forward. So, I mean, at this present moment, I'm focusing mainly, as you would have noticed, Mohammed, on LinkedIn. I never promote any of my consulting services. Now, I never have, and I don't think I ever will, because the way I always look at myself and the way I look at my own personal brand is to basically get people to understand who I am as a person, so that they have an understanding of what I specialize in. And if they feel that I might be able to assist them in their journey to make it easier and simpler for them moving forward, they will reach out to me. And that is exactly how it has happened. Because I have not reached out to people asking for business. People have actually seen what I do, the way I interact with people, the way I actually engage with people, and the way I give, freely. I would say my time, my energy, my effort to being able to see and assist people in their journey, that they do understand exactly what I stand for as a human being and the way I will be able to assist them. So that's how all my clients so far have come about. And I think that is something which is very important, which people, especially who are new to entrepreneurship, this is a little bit of a message that I would like to give all of you who are new to entrepreneurship. Don't go out in front of people on a daily basis and hammer your products and services in front of them. Just go out there and have a discussion, build that relationship, get in front of get in front of the camera so that people can see you, they can feel you, they can understand you, they can see the genuineness in you, and this is the best time to build up your digital presence and your digital footprint and your digital brand. And so do that with the integrity and the intention of providing value.
Okay, great. How to connect with the clients and engage with them meaningfully?
As I said, it's a two-way street, right? I never suggest that you go out and actively look for clients. I never have done that personally with my consulting business. Maybe also to a factor of that actually also deals with the fact that I do have a full-time job, and so I can't have, or rather I don't have a lot of time to go out there looking for additional clients. And obviously, because I'm just one person, I can't split myself into a few multiple people, so I can only obviously handle so many clients at any given moment in time. So I always, as I mentioned, Muhammad, is the best way to go out and find clients is to basically keeping on providing your network with a glimpse of the value that you provide and the genuineness and the integrity with which you actually bring that across. And that's the most important thing. And clients will find you in return.
What is the key to outreach those people like our target audience on LinkedIn and Facebook? What would you suggest?
Well, I would say the best way to actually reach out to your target market is to ensure that you're connecting with people from the industry that you're wanting to target. So let's say, for example, an arbitrary example. So if you are in the business of making educational software, you should connect with teachers. You should connect with educators. There is no point in you connecting with an engineer. There's no point in you connecting with the managing director of a HR firm. No point. So you need to connect with people in the industry that you are targeting. And that is the most important. That's where a lot of people actually make a mistake. They target the wrong people, and then they expect results from an arbitrary targeting, which was wrong in the first place. So you're barking up the wrong tree, and that is the most important. And that's where I always say that you as an entrepreneur, you need to listen to feedback that you are getting from your target market back to you. So if you are, doing whatever you can to promote your service or your product, but you're not getting any response, ask yourself a question: where am I going wrong? And that's very, very, very important. Where it's essential for a person to listen to that feedback that your target market is giving back to you in return. I think the best way is to, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, you need to ensure that the target market that you are focusing on is the actual target market who is going to be your end user. And that is very, very important. So there is no point in wanting to connect with people who are never going to be your clients. But that completely depends on what kind of a professional persona that you're wanting to portray out there. So you could have a lot of people from a completely different industry who you will know, who will come to know of you, who will understand what you do as a person, and they may be able to then refer you to their clients and colleagues and affiliates. So it depends. It's like basically going to a grocery store and picking up lots of different items from different aisles and then going and checking out at the same spot. You don't have to take each and every item to different checkout points. You can check them all out at the same spot, as long as you can fit them all into that one basket. So what I'm trying to say, the analogy that I'm trying to use here is like, it's important that the basket that I'm talking about is your products and services. So you need to make sure that your products and services are done up in such a manner that people are able to understand it easily. You're not targeting the wrong people. You're not going overboard with your targeting, because otherwise you will have interested people become uninterested very, very quickly, because people don't like being sold to, right? And I want that to be very, very clear. People don't like being sold to. People yearn for relationships. People yearn for that human connection. People yearn to understand who you are as a person. And the main thing that they yearn for is that they want you to understand them. And that's where you need to try and become a client partner. And that's where you have to give first before you can ask for anything in return.
Exactly. You have told us amazing things, and now I am going to ask you, what are top three secrets which others can get as a cheat sheet and implement right now in their business?
The top three secrets, it's not a secret. It's very simple. It's connect, relate, and engage. Simple as that. Connect with the intention of providing value. Relate to the client's real needs and requirements, and engage meaningfully with, to build a long-lasting relationship. Simple as that. Connect, relate, engage. Just remember those three words.
Okay, okay, great. What is the single most failure in your professional life? What lesson have you learned, and how did you recover from it?
It's an interesting question. Obviously, I've had loads of failures, loads of failures. I would say one of the biggest failures which I had in my professional life was back in Melbourne when I was 23 years old, and I was asked to basically lead a team for a briefing to one of the major banks in Australia regarding a financial package for them that we were actually sort of working together with a few other lenders. So I was, at that moment, I actually froze. I completely froze, maybe because I was a little bit immature. I was, I was just scared at that moment. And I wasn't able to, bring out the actual value of the product, because I was myself at that time very new to that company. So I had taken off more than I could chew, or rather had bitten off more than I can chew. And that actually gave me a really good lesson. The one thing, the lesson that it gave me was like, confidence is good, but overconfidence can be disastrous. And that is exactly what happened. I've always been a very confident person, but what happened during that, a specialist in that field, which I was touted to being one. So I was put forward as a specialist in this particular field for my company, but I personally hadn't been at the company long enough, and I didn't know my products so well. My product knowledge wasn't that good at that moment, because I was only there for that company for about a couple of months, and I had put on my hand when this thing came up, and because of my previous track record, I was chosen to do that. and I failed miserably because I was overconfident. But I lasted with that company for an additional 7 years. So they obviously saw the value that I brought to the company, and they loved what I do, and I loved being with the company for a really long time. And so you always learn from your mistakes, and that's what I'm saying. I think that was one mistake which has always instilled in me the fact that you shouldn't ever be overconfident. You should always know what you're talking about. You should always know about the products and services that you are pitching, because you need to live and breathe that yourself before you can get someone else to buy into your idea.
Yes, and you learn from it. And
Correct.
people who are watching this right now, how can they support you?
Uh, I mean, if you would like to sort of connect with me, if you'd like to follow my views, I am a sales and business development and marketing professional. I'm based in Singapore at this present moment. I was born in India. I have lived most of my life in Australia, which you may be able to understand from my accent. But I'm presently in Singapore. I am very, very active on LinkedIn, and I'm sure Brother Mohammed here is going to be able to share my LinkedIn profile links. So please follow me. I do share a lot of motivational stuff with a message which will make you think. I don't just share about sales and business development and marketing. I do share my tips and tricks sometimes. If you feel that I can assist you in any manner, and you want to pick my brain regarding a project that you are doing, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see how I can help. So the best way to reach out to me and to connect with me is on LinkedIn.
Yes, exactly. I have learned a lot of things. What would you say as a final words?
My final words is, like, especially during this time when the whole world is at a pause, just keep in mind that instead of beating on a drum and trying to get new clients all the time, I would say focus more on servicing the clients that you already have. Because at this present moment, more so than ever, you need to show compassion and kindness to people who have supported you. And I'm saying that in both a personal as well as a professional footing. So just go out there, be yourself, pick up the phone, speak to your clients who you've had for a while, and just call them and ask them, how are you? That's it. Build that human connection, and you will see your business flourish.
Okay, great. Thank you, Joseph, for sharing your wisdom with us on the behalf of Integrated Success Formula and my entire team. Stay blessed, be humble. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Have a great day.